Okay, shall we start our class? Okay, starting the class. Okay, can anyone respond? Say yes, no, hi, bye. Hello.
Sir, Rahul.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I will start my class. We completed till few units. Just I will go to the overview of the other units because we have today, tomorrow, and the next Saturday and Sunday. With this, we will be completing. I will try to focus on the sums. We'll directly go into the correlation analysis, regression analysis, and time series analysis. And then we'll try to think about probability and the distribution. That is also important part. Yeah. And after that, we will go for the hypothesis testing, sample, and how to test the hypothesis and test of the hypothesis and interpretation of data and report writing. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Right. Uh, mm, let's go into the correlation analysis. Let's see what is correlation. Say correlation or correlation. See, in the two ways they will talk about this. What is this correlation means? Correlation is nothing but how one variable is related to the another variable, correlated to each variable. Right? Let us say variables means again the important part of this is the variable here. What variables? Just for example, again, just from the beginning, I'm using an example, your satisfaction of the online classes and I mean the results. Let us say online classes versus results. I'm taking last 2 years online classes, percentage of attendance, how many are attending, and how many people are passing. The more students are attending, the more students are passing. I think we have seen this, right? Correlation also completed, right? Last week. I remember it is completed. What is correlation? And the next one is what is positive correlation? What is negative correlation? Yeah, I think we completed. Can anyone please respond, ma? I just want to know it.
9.3, it is completed.
Yeah, till 9.3, right? Yeah, that is what I'm just thinking. Correlation. In that, what is high positive? I will quickly just go through it. What is correlation, and then we'll go to say positive correlation means when which both the variables move in the same direction. Remember that. Positive means if it is one is increasing, let us say attendance is increasing, marks are increasing. Positive correlation. Okay. Let us say then what is negative correlation? Opposite direction. Okay. Attendance is increasing, but results are coming down. Or else they are increasing, decreasing. One is decreasing, another one is increasing. Right? This is called the negative correlation. Now, linear correlation and non-linear correlation. That also we need to understand. Say the ratio change between when the amount of change in one variable bear the constant ratio. Say 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, 1/2, linear. Right? And here one, some 2/3, 3/7, 4/7. There is non-linear relationship. Right? The values. Simple correlation we understood, two variables. Price and demand is the simple variable. Partial correlation, the relationship between yield and rainfall at a constant temperature is partial correlation. Multiple correlation, again, relationship between yield and rainfall There are some other factors also which will be influencing it. Methods of correlation, yeah, we have seen this. I think now graphical method and the mathematical method, that one is the Carl Pearson's method, that is called the rank method or concurrent deviation method. This already we discussed in the scatter diagram model. I think we discussed about the skewness as well, where we have discussed Carl Pearson. We have seen this, what is Carl Pearson coefficient of variables. Is this completed, ma? Carl Pearson? Can anyone please confirm? Kalyan?
No, sir.
It's not? Okay. That's
No.
Okay, thank you. Carl Pearson coefficient. I think someone sent me the chart. No, okay. Carl Pearson. This is widely used mathematical model wherein the numerical expression is used to calculate the degree and direction of the relation between the related variables. Method of correlation is the most popular and widely used quantitative method in practice. The coefficient of correlation is denoted by R. Okay, that we need to remember. Now, in the Carl Pearson, if you take the R value, it will be lie between positive and negative, right? And 0. What is positive means? Positive correlation means, can anyone tell? Just now we discussed.
For example, attendance is increasing, marks are increasing positive.
That means both the variables are in the same direction.
Both the variables in the same direction, that is called as positive.
If it is opposite direction, negative correlation. If nothing is effective, no correlation. Very good. Right. This is what. Now, the coefficient of correlation is independent of the origin and scale. By origin, it means subtracting any non-zero constraint from the given value x and y. The value of the remains unchanged. What is R again? The correlation. By scale, it means there is no effect on the value of R if the value of x and y is divided or multiplied by any constant. Yeah. In the geometric mean of two regression coefficients, symbolically represented by this one. Root of bxy into byx. Okay. Now, let us go directly into the sum one sum, then we will see that direct method. How to calculate the see, these are the two variables, right? X1 variable, X2 variable, different case. A case, B case, in some cases. Now we need to check whether there is any correlation between X1 and X2. See, calculate the mean of two series X and Y. Mean. Calculate the deviations of X and Y in two series from the respective means. How much it is deviated from the mean. That means deviation. How we will calculate the deviation? Let us say my mean is 10. From the variable, from the value of the thing 5, we need to subtract from the mean. That is deviated. How much value it is deviated means you need to subtract that particular value from the mean value. Simple. Now, square each deviation x and y, then obtain the sum of the square deviation. That is sum of x square and sum of y square. Multiply each deviation under x with corresponding deviation under y and obtain the product of xy. This is the thing, right? Then obtain the sum of the x and y, that is sum of x into y. Substitute the value in the formula. This is the formula. See this? Xy divided by root of x square into y square. Let us see how they have calculated. Very simple. First take the cases here, A, B, C, D, F, G, and write down the x values. Now you need to find out the x bar value. What is x bar value means? Big X value, mean. What will be the mean? Some mean value will come. From that mean value, subtract this value, x minus x. That is called this one. Then square this one. Again, y. Y. I think the mean will be somewhere around some value will come. Subtract this value from the mean or that value from this mean. You will get it, y square. And you find out xy also because it is there in the formula. Now root of x, sum of x, this is 80. X bar is equal to x bar by n. That is x bar is equal to 10. Then sum of x square, that is equal to 32. Sum of y is equal to 64. And sum of y divided by n, 10. What we are calculating here? Mean. And 8. Sigma y square is equal to 72. Sigma xy is equal to this thing. Now you will get R is equal to sigma root xy divided by root of root x square into root y square. 43 by this. This is the thing. Now, what is this value? 0.896. Which value it is? Positive value or negative value?
Positive, sir.
Positive value. That means how you need to write then?
Positive value should be right.
Yeah. What is the interpretation of this? There is a relationship between x1 and x2. The far the number is, the more the number is, the more correlation. The less the number is, correlation. If it is 0, no correlation. If it is negative, it is going in the negative correlation. Now, this is another thing, is also calculated without taking deviations of items, either from actual mean or assumed mean, actual y and x values. This is the another formula. If it is finding correlation directly, direct method means instead of taking the values from outside, directly we will take assumed mean and this, and we calculate, it will come. These are the values. Calculate the correlation coefficient by the direct method. X square it, you will get something. Y square it, you will something. X, y it, you will get. Now the formula n into sigma x. Or n minus this one into this, substitute this. The correlation you got is plus 94. That means it's a positive correlation. Now, next. Okay, this is one. This is an extra thing. I'm just leaving this. Errors also. Next. Spearman's rank coefficient of correlation. They have given some different formulas. These are all some extra things that you can do this. By heart the formulas, apply the values, you will get some values on that. Next. As we have many things. Again, we are coming into the regression analysis. Now, you got some basic understanding of the correlation or not? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. This is the basic thing. Now, what is the regression analysis? Let's we try to understand. By establishing a relationship between closely related variables, we can estimate the value of one variable based on the other variable. For example, if you know the price, supply are related to each other, we can estimate the supply given the price and vice versa. The statistical technique used to establish the relation between correlation and regression techniques. They will use it. And correlation technique establishes the cause and effect relationship between the variables. Regression technique helps in estimating the known variable by using unknown variable by using known variable. See this, we need to understand in a very nutshell way. If we know the price and this one thing, you will also understand some other aspects. But accuracy again is needed for everything, whatever we are taking. That is why we are asking to get the authorized source to know the information closely. When there are relationship between two closely related variables, we can estimate the value of one variable, the another variable, right? That is the thing. When price is increasing, supply will decrease. If prices are decreasing, supply will increase. It may be happen in vice versa also in different cases. Now, in this correlation cause and effect it will tell. Regression analysis will help to estimate the unknown variable by using known variable. So that we need to understand that. In general, regression means returning to a former or less developed state. This is the thing. Going back or returning to the normal thing. Let us say your shop went for online shopping. Okay, and it's not working on well. What you will do? Then you will go back to the previous version, that is offline version. Then you will try to get the clients, customers, and you try to do the thing. That is the thing. The term regression introduced by Francis Galton in the 19th century. Here we have different people gave different definitions. That is also see that. Before going to do that, he coined this term to describe the biological phenomena. The heights of, the descendants of tall ancestors tend to regress down towards normal average. The same thing is not continued. For Galton, it's not I think Galton is another representative for regression means continue to be an area of active research. New methods have been developed for robust regression. It involves correlated responses such as time series, growth curves, regression in which the predictor, independent variable or response variables are curves, images, or other objective measures accommodating various types of missing data. Where by different methods, different people will use it. Now, according to Morris Hamburg, regression analysis refers to the methods by which estimates are made of the values of a variable from known to the values of one or more variables and to measurement of errors involved in this estimation process. Right? This we need to understand. What we need to do? These are methods by which estimates are made. Estimates are made of the values of a variable from knowledge of the values of one or more. So whatever the words that you're using there, especially in the variable part, you can't take it back. And when you want to look for some alternative, then it will be useful to that. Most frequent used techniques in academics and in business studies are this. Find a relation between one or two variables that are related casually is regression analysis. See this, underline this. What are the assumptions of regression analysis? A sample selected for the study questions. Okay. Simple linear regression develop a straight line or linear mathematical model to describe the relationship between two variables. Right? Then to develop a straight line in a very simple way, and if they want to flow into the others, they can write in the thing. Let us consider a sample example where we are interested with the correlation between the samples. Dependent variable, when the variables y, apart from having a relationship with x, are also affected by chance variation. This regarded as random variable. These variables are for us. Right. Now let us see how they are going to do this regression. Simple word, simple linear regression means attempt to develop a straight line or linear mathematical describe the relation between two variables. Let us consider this example interested with the relation between two variables x and y, where x is the independent and casual variable on which y is the dependence. This is the thing. I am using some attendance and result, right? Which one is independent? Which one is dependent? Hello, are you all there? Which one is important? Which one is not important? Or I can ask this question is there. How you will write a variable? See, you can take X and Y and this, but this independent or casual variable, how it is depend on the other thing. That is, my results, I am trying to understand whether my results are based on the class attendance. Attendance is one variable. Results are another variable. Now tell me, explain regression analysis. Hello. Hello, are you all there? No one is there. Okay, someone sent me a chat message. Okay, no one is talking. I will only talk. Right. The variables Y, apart from having relationships, are also affected by chance variation. These are needs as random variables, while the chosen values of X are regarded as fixed constants. Let us say mission load and efficiency. Let us see this, how they have written this. See this mission load and efficiency, they have plotted in this way. Multiple linear regression. In simple linear regression model, dependent variable is a function of only one independent variable. Right. And whereas a multiple linear regression model, the dependent variable is a function of two or more independent variables. This is for a single, what is the first one in the linear regression? Simple linear regression. If more than one or two variables you are taking, it is right. Non-linear regression. What is this? Non-linear regression means it is a form of developing a non-linear relationship between the observed data, called as dependent variable. Okay. Non-linear. Non-linear regression is a form of in which observed data are modeled by a function, which is a non-linear combination of model parents and depends on one or more independent variables. Tell me what are the variables modern parents are dependent on that. If it is not, they're not able to do anything with their kids. People are not talking, I'm continuing. Partial regression. It is used to find the effect of until change in an independent variable. Okay. Then we'll go on. On the dependent variable, assuming all other independent variables are to be constant, it is also show are the constant, and it will also shows the effect of individual variables in the existing variables. See, we can draw a few variables or more variables, but how the variable, how it is affecting the society, how it is taking to these things, important. That is called partial variable. Logistic variable, effect of one or two independent variable, now will be dichotomous or original or continuous. Right? That wedge rangeable, less rangeable, different models are there. Those are all the theory. I'm going to touch it. This is important. Distinction between correlation. Usage, it is a measure of degree of covariability between two variables. It gives the nature of relationship between two variables. Both are looking same. Purpose. It measures the degree of association. Here, it predicts the unknown variable using the known variable. Now, purpose of the correlation analysis is measure the degree of association. The value will be between which numbers? Can anyone tell? Correlation values, the R value.
Positive one and negative one.
Kalyan?
Positive one and negative one.
Very good. -1 to +1. Say any value. Any value will be between -1 to +1 only. The answer to the correlation analysis will come less than 1 only. Hello. It will be between -1 to 1. Maybe 0 also. 0 is, there is no regression. But here see this regression analysis. It predicts the unknown variable using known variable. This is the thing. It will also predict and tell you what is the new variable. And here the scope is limited for correlation analysis. Scope is unlimited for the independent. One is dependent and other is independent. Systematic, symmetrical, non-symmetrical. Sometimes the coefficient value may be good, but there may not be larger. Let's move on. If you read, you will understand. Models are there. This is very important. Regression will helpful for you to do more research and to understand the remaining things. That is why let's spend some time, good time on this, because in the probability and then the last unit also bit easy unit, because about the sample and this, how they will select the sample and this. I mean to say unit means the blocks. Now, the unknown parameters denoted by beta, which may be represent a scalar or a vector. The independent variable is X, dependent variable is Y. I'm telling you, right? Is it clear? Dependent, independent variable? Kalyan? Is this clear, Kalyan or others? Kalyan is not responding.
Not clear, sir, for me.
Yes, ma?
Not clear for me.
Okay, see, very clear. Please listen here.
Can you repeat, sir?
Yeah. Have you understood what is dependent and independent variable? Yeah, I will repeat now. See, dependent variable means which is dependent on the other aspects. Again, I'm telling you, 2 examples I'm taking from the beginning. Dependent variable. Let us say dependent variable is your results, right? Based on the attendance, that is my independent variable, attendance, the results are affecting. I just want to know that. In this, which one is dependent on what? Your results are dependent on what? Excuse me?
Attendance.
Please respond. Attendance. Because this results, let us say here, dependent variable is Y, because the results are dependent on this. Now, in the correlation, we are trying to understand whether we can match these results and what is that attendance. If there is any match, if any correlation is there, we will straight away will come with the answer that there is a correlation. Simple. In regression, we are trying to understand which unknown variable, another variable is affecting the result. Okay. Now let us see that. Dependent variable, independent. Is it clear now? Vijaya? Vijaya, Ajay, something is there name?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it.
Yeah, understood, right? Yeah. Now, regression line is a line that best describes the behavior of set of data. In other words, it's the line that best fits the trend of a given data. The distance from the line to the points on the graph will be the least. Very simple. When we are lining, when you are plotting those things, then it will be. Now, number of regression lines will be equal to the number of variables. For example, if we have 2 variables X and Y, we will have only 2 regression lines. Now, regression line of Y on X. Using this line, we can predict the values of Y using the known variable X. right? I know the known variable x, and what are the values of the unknown variable? When I say that it is depend on this. Regression line of x on y. Using this line, we can predict the values of x using the known variable y, right? The degree of association and correlation can be estimated by measuring the distance between it. That we already know that. If it is near to that line, if it is good association, it is far away, it is bad. I mean, less prior association is there. Now, the degree of correlation is said to be less if the distance between two lines is high. It is said to be unity if the two lines are coincide. Degree of correlation is said to be 0 if two lines are parallel to the x-axis. Scatter diagram. Using this method, regression lines are plotted on a graph sheet. Different pairs of values are plotted by different points. Scatter diagram can be developed by any statistician, whatever, joining these points. A line can be developed by using freehand curve or scale such that the line has equal number of points on both the sides. This is important. When you're drawing a line, both the sides, those parameters should be equal. Now, regression equations method. Now, what are the regressions? The regression equations are usually called the normal equations. The equations method is used to find out the existing relation between data sets. For example, if we consider the inflation rate every year. What is inflation means? Hello? What is inflation means?
Rise in price, sir.
Very good.
Increase in price.
Increases in price. If more the prices are increasing, we are in the inflation. Very good. Thank you. It may be find out that it increases in a particular rate. If the rate is constant, it can be modeled using a regression analysis. So if that constant increment is there somewhere, then we can, through the regression analysis, we can. Regression equation is nothing but an algebraic expression of regression line, that is a plus bx, where a and b are constants, which are known as parameters of the line. Here A is the origin of the line and B is the rate of change, that is increase or decreasing. To determine the value of A and B, their equation, the following two normal equation has to be solved simultaneously. Now this is the is equal to capital Y is equal to A plus BX. Then you apply sigma to that and A and B into sigma X and is equal to A into X plus B into sum of X square. Now X on Y. Same, you take x, sigma x, and a, b, and x y is equal to, this is the thing. We need to understand here in that way how strong the relationship is, correlation analysis, and how they are related, up to what extent they know to each other. The regular things will be explained that. Y on x. See, in other words, what should I tell? Based on the past data of the sales, can you predict the sales in the future data? That is, in the past data, I have 10 products per day or month we are producing. Next month, some 4 or 5 people came. Okay. And when this a plus bx and this is dependent on independent variable, here when we started using anything here, by using this, based on the past data, what we have, let us say last month, last year at this time, more ice creams are sold. Okay. Right. And in the next year, based on the past data, how many ice creams I need to manufacture? Can we tell that? Approximately, at least? Yes, no, yes or no?
We can predict, sir.
Yeah, we can predict. We predict. That's the thing. Here, that is the thing. Knowing the unknown, fitting straight line, that's a different. Now, normal equation method. Estimate the value of y on x is 22. Value of x and y is whatever. They gave this is x, y, x square, y square. We got it. Answers. Then regression equation of y on x, capital Y is equal to a plus bx, sigma y is equal to this, and x. Now what is sigma xy? You know the answer. A 6a plus 83b. Next, the answer is this, and multiplication equations 1 with 83 and 2 with, you know that we got few equations here. That is solve the equations. You will get the value of a, you will get the value of b, and substitute the values in y is equal to a plus bx. You will get the regression answer. Simple. Same y when x is 22. Simple. The value of y will be this when x is 22. Now, x on y. X is equal to a plus by, sigma x. This is the multiple equation. You substitute the values. Again, we get these values. And finally, the equation is x is equal to this plus this. Now, based on this data, I have given this equation. X is equal to this plus this y. Some number plus number into y. Now, if you know x, or if you know y, will you get the value of x? Hello? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is the thing. You are trying to create an equation to identify which is unknown to you. This is what we are going to. Taking deviation from actual arithmetic means if it is the data is like this, sale of advertisement expenditure is 80, advertisement 50, and based on this data, you need to go for the solution like this. Regression equation of y on x, regression equation of x on y. Okay. See, without taking deviations, we can do one method. By taking deviations, we can do another method. That is simple regression. Okay. Next. How to estimate the standard error and this. Just you go through the formulas. I'm skipping this. Finding correlation through regression coefficients. For certain x1, y series which are correlated, the two regression lines are this. They have given this. Find the means of two series and correlation coefficient. You know xy, y value. Divide this 3 with, you'll get y value, you'll get 2y values. You will get, substitute the y in that equation, you'll get the x bar. Now to find the correlation coefficient, let us take the equation 1 as the regression equation y on x. 5x minus 6 is equal to this one. In x, you find the value y, and taking equation 2, equation of y on x, and you get this, all these values. See, these are all the equation part. If you substitute and do that, you will get it. I'm not explaining each and every line, just to go through this. Now, again, in the summary, it is the measures of average relationship between two or more variables in terms of original units of the data regression. How much relationship it is there, and to find out the unknown variable also. It is simple attempt to develop a straight line or linear mathematics to describe the relationship between two variables. Multiple regression, dependent variable is a function of two or more independent variable. Say if two or more independent variable, there is multilinear regression. Only one independent variable is there. This is simple linear regression analysis. Nonlinear regression. In this, data are modeled by a function which is a nonlinear combination of the model parameters, depends on one or more independent variable. It is not one or two, it is more than that. Partial regression is when there is a find effect of unit change in the independent variable. If one number is changing on the dependent variable, assuming all the other independent variables to be constant. Partial regression. Okay, this is based on the above models. You can try to go into it. Now let's go into the time series analysis. See, correlation, regression are also to find out the relationship between two variables and how to find out the unknown variable values by taking the past year data. At the same time, in the time series analysis also, we are going to get some information out of it. Let us see what is time series analysis. You know that series is a systematic arrangement of data. When you arrange it, we can arrange it in a chronological order, whether it is in the ascending or descending, whatever, we will arrange in a time means we will arrange in a chronological order. Know that. Time series data into different way to take a decision is known as the time series. See this? Analyzing time series data into different ways to take a decision. Today, the sales is so and so. Tomorrow, the sales is some 10,000. Day after tomorrow is this. I have 3 days data. I can predict the next series. I can write the remaining series values based on these 3 days data. Am I getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that series we need to understand. That's interval we need to understand between one variable to the another variable. This is another important aspects in the time series is that it has to collected, observed, regarded in the regular intervals of time in time series. This is important. You can't take one data at one time. See, let us say for few things during one time the sales will be high, during another time the sales will be less. Let us say every 2 hours you are trying to understand this. For example, if you, I'm getting an example where, yes, if you are searching for a restaurant or some shopping mall, have you seen the Google Analytics showing that at this time the crowd is high, at this time the crowd is low? Anybody observe that?
Yes, sir.
That is the thing.
Even in radio also they will.
Radio also. Okay, I don't know about radio. This is what generally. This time crowd will be more, red will come. This time the bars it will be less will come. See, we know that this Google and everybody is using the advanced tools to understand that how they are telling, how they are predicting based on the past data. At this time, this is the thing. Okay, let's get into this. Time period denotes chronological arrangement of values of value over successive time period. Example to include the agricultural and industrial products, production and consumption of various commodities, national income, investment, and so on. Okay, let's try to understand. Time series may be defined as a sequence of repeated measurements of a variable made periodically through a time. This is the thing of a variable. You take any variables. That's next. Another man also said, like, it may be defined as a sequence of values of some variable corresponding to successive points in time. Okay, like this, different people gave the different. It is to study the past behavior of the data. This is the advantage of this. To make forecast the future. Why we need to study, sir? This is the thing. Past, how the sales are there. Future, how it will be. Otherwise, why? What is the job of doing all these things? Next important part. Time series is applied to forecast the future. This is the thing. To understand the future, how the variable behaves under a study, based on that future, we will tell that last year, this time, more rains. It's full of rainfall. Maybe next year at this time, maybe rainfall will be there. Sir, why you are telling maybe? Because we know there are other factors which will be affecting the rainfall. By analyzing the past behavior under study, we can forecast it. Time series is also used to evaluate the past performance and all these things, It will be used by business, finance, economic, socialist, or etc. Helps in understanding the theoretical part you can study. Components of the time series. Secular trend, seasonal variables, cyclical variables, irregular variables. Okay. Secular trend, we know that sometimes it will increase, sometimes it will decrease. The cost of living index recorded by the consumer price index is an example of secular trend. Cost of living. Rising trend refers to the gradual increase, whereas decimal trend refers to gradual decreases over a period of time. This is very important. Short-term variations does not include as part of a secular trend. Time we have taken. Now, after the time, secular trend, this is the thing, or a period of time, ups and down, if it is there, secular trend, very simple. Okay, that let's not go into two things. I'm not going into the deeper things. At least the meaning you should. The trend values, secular trend uses, we know that. Seasonal variable. Of course, the pattern will change within a year. The trends to be repeated from year to year. There is a tendency. Last month, in which month you ate the mango? Remember. Maybe next year also, you may eat it. If it is delayed, we can't do anything. But this is the prediction. In other words, not eating is the best example. At what time the crop is increased? At what time you have seen a lot of crop? This is the thing. Seasonal variations. Next, uses and this you study. Cyclical variations. Cyclically, with one period of time, variations in time series more than 1 year. Most of the time series related to the economic and business show some kind of cycle. These variations do not follow any regular pattern or move in an pattern. Most common example of cyclical variation is business cycles. Boom or prosperity. Sometimes recession will be there. There will be depression or there will be recovery. Or like that it will be there. Cyclical fall will be there. Irregular variation is also at random or residual fluctuations and which do not repeat in a definite pattern. It will come whenever they want, it will go that. Whenever it doesn't want, it will come down. Short-term, unanticipated, non-recurring factors. There is irregular variations in the form of earthquakes, wars, floods, storms. When some other until the external force is disturbing our things, or leave it disturbing. If it is disturbed, because of this natural calamities only, the variations will be there. That's what we need to do. Decomposition of trend. We need to understand how the trend will be, and multiplicate model will be there. Difference between two models. Secure trend, there is something. Now this is very important. How to measure the trend? What are the methods? Freehand or graphical method, semi-average method, method of moving averages, and least square methods. I think these two things are very, very popular one. Moving averages method or least squares method. Now let's see this freehand or graphical method. This is the simplest method of measuring trend of a time series in this model. Firstly, we have to draw the time series graph. To draw it, we know x-axis, y-axis, independent variable taken in x-axis, y-variable dependent on measured, plot the time values against the corresponding values of the dependent variable, join these points by means of smooth line. This is called time series graph or histograms. Then to predict the trend behavior of the line is drawn through the points that is judged by the analyst to represent adequately long-term in the series. Simple, very simple that we are in one line. If I say draw the values in x, draw the values in y, and then next, after drawing both the variables against these things, join these lines by the smooth line. We call it as a time series graph or histogram. Then to depict the trend variable line is drawn through the points that is judged by the analyst. Freehand. Let's see that. You give the lines in x-axis, here's lines on y-axis. You set your time and plot the things. Graph. Semi-averages method, it will be divided into two parts equally. Average of the values of each half together with the midpoint is plotted as a point on a graph sheet. You study, you will understand. Semi-average, how they do it? Computation of trend values by method of semi-averages in this given probability. 6 years, that one, got it. Year, income, semi-totals, and semi-averages. This is because it is asking about the semi-things, right? Three values for these three values. We have written like this, 210. Semi-averages by 3 by 3. Right. Self-assessment questionnaire. Moving averages. This is also one popular one. I'll quickly just go through this. And or else. Okay, shall I repeat it again? Yeah. Okay, the first two, and we will continue the second thing. First one, graphical method, simple. To draw the time series on x-axis, yes. Independent variable take on the x-axis. Let us say, you know how to draw the graph, right? Let us say here we have example. These are the years are there. And these are some values are there. You draw it and put the points there and join those lines. You will understand the trend, how it is growing, whether it is increasing or decreasing. Based on that, you will estimate this thing. Semi-averages, midpoints, this a different thing. Semi-averages for 3 things, made thing. This is the midpoint for first 3 things. I mean, total. This is the total, semi-total, semi-averages divided by 3. This is 3, total. Semi-average 17 set up plotted against the mid-year of the first year, that is 2013. Semi-average of 142 plotted against the mid-year of the second part, that is 2016 here. One is 2013, second one is 2016, because this is the mid of first 3, right? Second part is the trend line can be shown in a graph, that line, how it is drawn. Okay, semi-averages, first 3 things. Averages, this is average type, take average and plot it, you will get it. Okay, this moving averages, do we have some examples here? Yeah. Okay, we'll continue this moving averages tomorrow. Okay, right now, tomorrow 1:30 again we'll meet and we'll try to understand the remaining part, moving averages method and least square method. Then we'll continue. Okay, right now I'm just leaving. Bye, ma. Bye, everybody. I think you have another class, right?
Yes, sir. Bye, sir. Thank you.
Right. Welcome. Bye.